There are times when refrigeration is needed to keep food fresh, but not all the time. Keeping food in the right way is important for keeping its quality and flavor. Understanding how to store food properly is important when you're getting creative in the kitchen, whether you're making tahini sauce or ice cream. This will help you keep your favorite items fresh. Find out what foods you shouldn't put in the fridge and how to store your cooking essentials by reading on what foods should not be kept in the fridge. It's important to know that refrigeration isn't always needed to store food properly for making meals or to keep your fridge and closet clean. Some foods, like fruits and veggies, sauces, and ingredients, should be kept somewhere else. Read the directions on the packaging to find out if the things should be kept cold or not before you put them away. 1. Tomato. If you don't put your tomatoes in the fridge, keep them at room temperature. This will keep them juicy and ready for your next tomato and ricotta pizza. 2. Tomatoes. To keep their structure and taste, potatoes should be kept in a paper bag at room temperature. Because they are wet, putting them in the fridge can make them crunchy and too sweet. 3. Garlic. If you leave onions in the fridge with too much wetness, they can quickly turn moldy. Keep onions away from potatoes and in a cool, dry place. You can use your onions whenever you need them for recipes like this caramelized onion and goat cheese tart because they will stay fresh. 4. Snacks. One great thing about pickles is that they last a long time. You can put them in the pantry, which will free up space in the fridge. If you use store-bought options, though, make sure to read the package directions to see if they need to be kept cold. 5. Honeydew. For the best cucumber preservation, don't put them in the fridge. Doing so could make them watery and cause pits to form. Instead, put them in a container that won't let air in and put it in your pantry or on the table. 6. Pepper chilies. Bell peppers should be kept at room temperature so they stay crisp. If you put them in the fridge, the outside might become less crunchy. 7. Peaches. When avocados are kept at room temperature instead of in the fridge, they tend to soften faster. Put your avocados out on the counter so you can make tasty things like avocado grilled cheese. 8. Squash in the winter. Some winter squashes to store are butternut and acorn. Keep them in a cool, dry place away from the fridge. 9. Pearls. On the counter, apples can stay fresh and tasty for up to a week or two. Once you're done, put them in the fridge to keep their quality for longer. 10. Bananas. Store your bananas the right way to keep them fresh and stop them from turning brown too quickly. The best choices for you are an open table, a pantry, or a hook that is just for bananas. 11. Berries. Berries stay fresh longer if you don't put them in the fridge. Instead, leave them out at room temperature. It's best not to wash the fruit until you're ready to eat it because too much water can damage it. It helps them keep their perfect texture and flavor, and it also makes sure you can eat them when they're at their ripest. With your fresh berries, try making no-bake lemon berry cheesecake bars. 12. A melon. Keep whole melons out of the fridge until they're ready to eat to keep them fresh. Once the meat is cut, put the pieces in the fridge to keep them as fresh as possible. 13. Breads. Don't put fresh bread in the fridge. If you're going to finish it by the end of the day, leave it out in the open at room temperature. If not, you can freeze it, put it in a bread box, or store it in a paper bag. When you're ready to eat, toast the food to keep the flavor and wetness. 14. Tea. If you want a great cup of coffee every time, don't put your grounds or beans in the fridge. Instead, keep them in a cool, dry place at room temperature in a container that won't let air in. This will keep the wonderful smell and taste of your favorite beer. 15. Candy. If you leave chocolate in the fridge for too long, it will get grainy and lose its flavor. Instead, keep it somewhere cool and dry, out of direct sunlight, so that it keeps its rich, creamy taste. 16. Sugar. Honey can get hard and lumpy if you store it in the fridge. Leave it at room temperature to keep it smooth and gooey. 17. Onion. To keep your garlic fresh, don't put the bulbs in the fridge, as this can change the way they taste and feel. The best place to store them is somewhere cool and dry, like a pantry or basement, away from where you cook. 18. Spicy sauce. Unless the label says otherwise, the best way to keep your hot sauce's rich flavor and strong heat is to keep it in the pantry. 19. Nuts. Keep nuts like cashews and walnuts fresh by putting them in an airtight container and leaving them out at room temperature instead of putting them in the fridge. 20. Olive oil. It is best to keep olive oil in a cool, dark place in your kitchen instead of in the fridge, where it might solidify. 21. Butterneouts. At room temperature, peanut butter stays spreadable for 3 months. After that, it's best to keep it in the fridge. 22. Jar gold. Because vinegar is very acidic, it can be kept at room temperature for a long time. 23. Tomato soup. Because it ferments, soy sauce can be kept in a cabinet for up to a year. It's important to follow the directions on the box because each item is different. What kinds of fruits shouldn't be kept flat? Bananas, apples, oranges, and berries are all fruits that shouldn't be kept in the fridge. Fruits will ripen faster if you leave them out at room temperature, but they will stay fresh longer if you put them in the fridge once they are ripe. Along with cherries, grapefruit, grapes, pineapple, and other citrus fruits, oranges and other citrus fruits often taste best when kept in the fridge. What vegetables do you not should cool? Avocados, bell peppers, onions, and potatoes are some vegetables that shouldn't be kept in the fridge. Mushrooms, broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, and asparagus are some veggies that you might want to put in the fridge. How to store food. Put your food that goes bad quickly in the fridge or freezer right away. Check to see if the temperature in your fridge and freezer is right. Always read the labels on your food to see how to store it. As soon as possible, use things that are ready to eat. Organize your fridge so you don't forget about things that have gone bad. Always put food in the fridge with a lid on it. Like, share, and subscribe.